Welcome everybody to another episode of FYC Film Review. I'm your host Gagne. With me, my partner Naldo. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? How's it going, everybody?
Welcome back, sir. What do we
Yeah.
got for the fans today?
We got a good recommendation. I think it's a good recommendation. Three Idiots. Three Idiots. And this is an Indian film that came out in 2009. So that was quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's almost 3 hours long. It's like 2 hours and 45 minutes. It does not need to be 3 hours long, but we'll get into it. Did you have a good time with it?
I did. I
Okay.
did. Oh, yeah. I had a lot of fun with it in the beginning. And in
Yes.
the middle, it felt like it dragged a little bit, and then I loved the ending. So,
Okay.
yeah, let's dig into it.
I thought so I didn't read up on it. I had no idea what it was about, just based on the recommendations that we got from a lot of people. I actually thought like the first 20 minutes, I had no idea what I was getting myself into, and I'm thinking, I don't think I'm gonna like this movie. But the turnaround point for me in this movie was when they create, it's like the first drone they create. This is like movie has the first drone, and the drone actually flies up into the window and they see that their friend has committed suicide. That's when the movie really took a huge turning point for me, and I was like, whoa, what am I in for? Like
Sure.
this is serious. Okay, so I think that's where the movie took a really good turning point for me, based on that scene, how it was so shocking that, okay, now we're in for it. What am I to expect from this movie?
Yeah, and I was not expecting that to happen. I almost like kind of gasped when
Right.
they found their friend whose drone they fixed. It was such a heartbreaking moment
Yeah.
that like you're got this comedy, and then you get hit with that. And so I was like, wow, okay, we're in for a treat. I mean, they really span a lot of different emotions and I
Yeah.
think like life moments that people have in this film, even though yes, I will say it was a little long.
It was very long. Let's not, let's be around the bush. It was way too long. Movies don't need to be 3 hours unless you're RRR. But this movie's I feel like, from based on the Indian films that we've seen, and we haven't seen that much, Indian cinema does the brotherhood and friendship really well.
Mm,
Really well.
yeah.
And so I'm really enjoying that aspect. They did it really well in RRR. And then the friendship that these three have is just, it's fantastic. It's great. And there's a brotherhood to it. And there's really sad and happy moments. And it does it really well. At first, I thought Rancho, the
Mhm.
main character, he came off as annoying at first,
Mm.
kind of a know-it-all. And I'm just thinking, okay, this guy's just trying to be everything to everybody. But his character, he really hits home with his character. He's this really good dude who's trying to be there for his friends, and you really see that side of him. So I thought his character was just fantastic, really good.
I love that he was, yeah, you don't know where he kind of stands in the beginning. You're right.
Right.
He's a little all over the place. He's a little know-it-all,
Yeah.
but he has these values of, he wants to hold in high regard that feeling of freedom. Like, you can't attach yourself to things that you don't want to do, and
Yeah.
you need to be free to pursue your passions. And the more he tries to bring that out of his friends, I think the more I enjoyed his character.
Right. The pressures of life. I mean, this is about engineering, right? I don't know anything about engineering. I'm not an engineer, but based on what we're seeing in this movie, there's a lot of pressure, not just from a professor and your peers, but from your parents as well. So that aspect is like, I'm sure there's truth to that, from
Mhm.
coming from that cultural perspective. I'm sure there's truth to that. And it's sad. I mean, you got people who are they're so much under pressure that they're attempting suicide. When we see the first suicide, then we get the second attempt, their friend. I was just like, my mouth just fell on the floor. I'm like, oh my gosh, is this really happening?
How they wake him up is really strong. Like
Right.
how they get him out of the coma, and how they
Mhm.
all bond and band together and find a way to kind of bring him back was clever, was sweet, sentimental, like
Yeah.
just what you want to see from, friends that are, have developed this bond over 4 or 5 years.
And then afterwards, when the two friends, not the main guy, not this guy, but the other two guys, they have this deep talk with their parents about like they have this realization that, hey, I don't want to be an engineer. One wants to
Mhm.
be a photographer, the other one wants to do something else, or maybe be an engineer. I don't know. He just wants to come out and be honest about his struggles.
Mhm.
And so that heartfelt moment that I think his name was Farhan, he has with his dad, right?
Yes.
It was really heartfelt and deep and emotional. Like I found myself tearing up in this movie, and I was like, "What is going on?" Right? So it hits pretty hard in moments like that, and this movie does it really well. I was very surprised how well it does it.
Amir Khan, who plays Rancho, like stole the show for me. I mean, he's so charming. You almost see why like the two friends are so discouraged by hanging out with them. Like, look, stop hanging out with them, or you're gonna flunk out. You're gonna,
Right.
all these things. Yet he's bringing out stuff in them that they wouldn't normally do. They were very regimented. My parents sent me here. I
Right.
need to do well, and putting that pressure on them. And the more that they spend time with him, the more like the film becomes lively, and they get into more stuff, and their interactions are just great. The first song that they did together. I mean, my toes were tapping. I was into it. I was like, I was
Okay.
hooked. I was like, yeah, I want to hang with these guys. They seem like a lot of fun. It's the college experience that I didn't get.
That's funny. Okay, so the first dance sequence, the first musical number, I wasn't a fan of.
Hmm.
I did enjoy the Zooby Dooby dance though. I really did.
Yes.
I enjoyed that dance with him and what was her name? Priya, or I forget what her name was. The his love interest basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karina Kapoor. Oh, swoon. She's a very popular actress and
Okay.
just stunning. And yeah, their chemistry was fantastic. I'm not gonna say that they did, but I'm gonna say that La La Land may have stole some stuff from that
Ooh. Ooh.
because I was like, huh, I feel like they kind of did that in La La Land. So just
Okay.
throwing that out there, but
All right.
loved that. I enjoyed what was All Is Well was the first one, wasn't it?
All is well.
Yes.
All is well. Oh
All
my
Is Well.
gosh.
Like I thought that was beautiful, but yes, I think Zubidoo was amazing.
Dooby Dooby Dance was
Yes.
fantastic. I had a bit of a problem with the dad, Pia's dad, or the
Oh,
professor
okay.
Virus.
Yeah.
I thought his acting was a little over the top.
Mm.
It's a little over the top.
Yeah.
I get it. Just kind of like the nerdy friend too, who became rich, and they take him along. That guy was
Yes.
kind of annoying. I don't know.
Cheap gags with farts,
Yeah.
and his farts smelling, and him
The
being
silencer. So I was
yeah.
kind of like, okay, I don't know if I need that. But let's talk the finale.
Yes.
What happens? I was just I was on the edge of my seat. This girl is having a baby. These guys get kicked out. All the lights go out, and you finally see, okay, well, we need to do something, and they put the engineer skills to the test, and it's a fantastic scene, especially when the dad has this heartfelt moment with his grandson, and I just absolutely loved it. Loved that scene.
I appreciated the comedy of the baby kicking Rancho in the face when he's holding it to show that it's alive when he says all is well, because
All is
it's
well.
such a tense moment where you're like, man, the flood's happening and the power's
Yes.
out and they're delivering a baby, and and then this little rubber leg comes up and kicks him in the face. And
It's good.
I started laughing, like, because in the moment I was so into it, I wasn't thinking that the baby was going to move. I was like, wow, the way this movie's gone, it could go,
Yeah.
it could go any way. Like, you
Mhm.
really don't know. Like, I was kind of kept surprised where I think a lot of times when you're watching a comedy, which I wouldn't necessarily classify this as comedy, but what's coming. Like,
Right.
everything's going to be fine and everything's going to work out. But like in
Yeah.
this one, I really didn't know. Like, I didn't know what direction they wanted to go, and I appreciated that.
I thought the baby might have died. I really did. But then when they did the all is well again, I felt just like my tear. I was like watering. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is such a good movie. What are you doing? And it's not even over yet because they still got to find Rancho, right?
Yes, that's true. Yeah, and yeah, they do well to get to him without needing to tell like the entire story of where he's been for 5 years. Like, by the time they get to him, I guess it's 5 years, maybe it was 10 years, but by the time they do get to him, you realize, wow, this is actually a really well put together. It makes sense for his story.
I had no idea if they were gonna find him or not. I'm glad they did. It was a sweet moment. They all got really mad at him in the beginning. They're like punching him like, why haven't you called? And then everything's all good now. So
Yeah, the scene where they also get oh my god, I'm forget what was her name in the movie.
Priya or Pia?
Pia.
The girl?
Yes, thank you.
Pia, yeah,
Pia.
yeah.
Where they go to stop her wedding was great. Like,
yeah.
loved it. Lock the annoying guy in the car, sneak in, crash another wedding, pull her away. And the callback too, when she shows up on the island on the scooter wearing her wedding dress. I forgot about that. Like, I forgot that was his dream, and then it happens. It was a very sweet moment.
I don't know. I have anything else? Want to rate?
Let's rate it.
All right, let's rate it. I always forget where we're going with. We talk about it right before. What are we going with?
Idiots. How many idiots?
Okay.
Right.
1 idiot being really bad. 5 idiots being really great. I'm going to let you go first on this one.
Okay. As the namesake, I'm going to go with 3 idiots. I liked it.
Okay.
I didn't love it. I thought it did drag in the middle, a little too much of the college time, but I really liked it. I mean, good music, funny comedy, charming actors. You said there's a couple characters that are a little over the top, and they could have dialed back a little bit some of those scenes, and I think would have made for just a tighter film. Like, I harp on it all the time. Just films don't need to be that long. They're if you made this 2:15, 2:20, cut a half hour out, like stuff that I just don't think take away from the emotionality of the film. It wasn't like I'd say cut one of the musical scenes. Like, the music was great, the dancing was awesome, the comedy was great. Cut out some of the extra fluff in the middle, and I think I'd probably give it a little higher because I just found myself waiting for like what was coming next. And so three beautiful idiots.
3 beautiful idiots. Okay, that is a solid score, my friend. I am a fan of this movie. I absolutely love this movie. I really did. I didn't realize I was gonna like it so much. It's 3 hours, 2 hours and 45, 50 minutes. Way too long. So, however, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm gonna go with the 4. 4 idiots on this one. It's up there now for me, and I'm so glad you guys recommended this because I would have never watched it. I would never even know that it was out there. So loved it. Love this. 4 idiots for me.
4 idiots. You have joined the group.
I have joined the ranks.
You were the 4th idiot. No, that's
yes. I loved it.
Can't argue with it. I highly recommend you watch it. It is. It's got some really good heartfelt moments. Some really good lessons about following your passions, and when you do that, you won't feel like you're doing work, and that's kind of why we do FYC film reviews. So check it out.
There you go.
Check out 3 idiots, folks. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. We appreciate you watching. Let us know if you've seen 3 idiots, what you think, and we'll catch you next time. I've been your host, Gagne. My partner, Naldo.
Have a good one, everybody. See you guys later.